My name is Chris Lanza. I'm Principal Park Naturalist at the Manasquan Reservoir Environmental Center, which basically means that I am the supervisor of the Environmental Center. So I manage the Environmental Center. In addition to managing the Environmental Center, I also manage education programs at Turkey Swamp Park, Sugar River Park, Fisherman's Cove Conservation Area. When they built the reservoir, they built it with two ideas in mind, and they started construction. They actually started thinking about it in the early 80s, late 70s. And the reason why they did it is they knew that groundwater supplies would not keep pace with expected population demands. And even from the beginning of the development phase, they knew they wanted the public to be involved. Unlike other reservoirs where they're more isolated, they're not as involved, they wanted this one to be involved with the public, also have a great benefit for wildlife, and they wanted the park system to be partners. The actual property is owned by the New Jersey Water Supply Authority, and they own several different reservoirs. They own Round Valley, Spruce Run, and the DNR Canal. And so they built a reservoir to provide water to their customers during times of low water levels in the Manasquan River.
Many years ago, when I moved here, about 25 years ago, I joined a walking group, older people, but they took me around to different parts of Jersey, and they took me here. And so since then, I've been able to come back here. I've brought friends here. My sister, Diane, and I come here at least twice a year. Beautiful views of the reservoir. We see eagles, sometimes we see osprey.
The park system handles all the recreation and education. So I think we're the best. We are probably the best walking trail in this part of Monmouth County. Definitely one of the longest.
I like the long 5-mile loop. I found out about 2 years ago my heart stopped while I slept. My cardiologist yelled at me recently, so I'm back to exercising.
We're also probably the best freshwater fishing in this part of Monmouth County as well. And obviously educationally, we have people coming from all over the county and the state and the world in some cases to the Environmental Center. So, I think we're a unique location. We're probably one of the most unique Monmouth County parks. And I think people in this area, we're definitely a draw. We're the most popular park in the system. We have over 1 million visitors a year.
I like fishing here. The water's very clear. The fishing can be really good sometimes, and you just don't know what you catch sometimes. I have a lot of possible record fish caught out of here.
Perfect.
Love it. Been fishing it since it's been open, and caught some nice sized fish, even off the docks. The fishing has changed a little bit, but there's some big fish in Manasquan Reservoir.
This place is beautiful. We come here because the water's super clean. There's always a lot of big fish in here. Been out on a boat a couple different times. I've had fishing tournaments here. It's one of the best reservoirs in New Jersey for sure.
The fish, there's around 20 species of fish that can be found here. And of those, there's some that we tend to highlight as fish that are game fish. So we have striped bass hybrid, we have tiger muskie, we have muskellunge, smallmouth bass, largemouth bass. We have about 200 species of birds which can be found here during the year. So we're very lucky that we have a mixture, because of the fact we have the water and the forest, we have a mixture of forest birds, obviously. And then we have, of course, the aquatic or the water birds, either ducks and or wetland species, but we say 200. Some of the ones we tend to promote most often are, we have a pair of bald eagles here. We've had a pair here since 2001 approximately. Well, obviously the main trail, which I mentioned a couple of times, is here. We have a 5-mile trail. We have a couple nature trails near to the environmental center. In addition to that, and the fishing, during the spring and summer, we rent boats at the visitor center, both kayaks and also rowboats. And starting actually this past weekend, our pontoon boat ride goes out from the visitor center on weekends. Obviously just the environmental center itself, so we do programs for families, we do programs for schools and community groups, so those are some of the things people have available to them.